In the dictionary, trust is defined as a firm belief in the reliability, truth, ability, or strength of someone or something. So I asked my husband yesterday what he thought it meant to trust in the Lord. And I prodded a little, saying, "Do you think it means to trust that He's going to do certain things for you?" And he quickly replied, "No, I think it's more a trusting in who He is." And I said, "Ooh, you're smart." I think we all struggle in our faith at times and wonder how we can trust God when things don't seem to make sense. Last week I talked about Joseph, who was thrown into a pit and then later in Egypt thrown into jail because of a lying woman. That reminded me of another guy who was thrown into jail because of a mean woman. Think about John the Baptist, the cousin of Jesus, the one who spent the majority of his life pointing people to Jesus, the one who saw Jesus perform many miracles, the one who told his own followers to follow Jesus instead of him. After giving all he had to the mission of preparing the way for Jesus, he found himself unfairly thrown in jail simply because Queen Herodias didn't like him. And that after all the sermons he had preached about trusting in Jesus and putting your faith in him. If you were John, what would you have been thinking and feeling as you sat there in jail? What do you think was going through his mind and heart? Well, we get a little clue in Matthew chapter 11 as some of his friends came to visit him in jail. He asked his friends to go back to Jesus and ask him, "Are you the one who's to come? Are you really the Messiah? Or should we expect someone else?" Yes, even John began to have his doubts about Jesus. I wonder what kind of answer John was expecting from Jesus in return. That Jesus would cause an earthquake to open up the jail and let him go free? That Jesus himself would sneak in and help him escape? Maybe he thought at least Jesus would write him a note of assurance and send it back with John's friends. "Yes, John, I am the Messiah, the Son of God. I know you're going through a tough time right now. I am who I said I was, so just hang in there and it will all get better soon." But Jesus didn't do any of that. And he didn't give John a strategy to get himself out. He didn't tell John to pray harder or have more faith. He simply told John's friends, "Go back and report to John what you hear and see. The blind receive sight, the lame walk, those who have leprosy are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, the good news is proclaimed to the poor." All things that Isaiah had prophesied the Messiah would do. But then he ended it with what I think is one of the most intriguing verses in the whole Bible. In Matthew 11, verse 6, he said, "Blessed is anyone who does not stumble on account of me." Or, "Blessed are those who don't turn away because I was not what they were expecting, or because I didn't do the things they expected me to do." You see, the Pharisees turned away because Jesus had come from a poor carpenter's family and because he hung out with sinners. He didn't play out the Messiah role like they expected. And now Jesus was performing miracle after miracle for random people in the crowds, but he was doing nothing to help his own cousin who prepared the way for him. Nothing for his own cousin whom not too much later had his head served on a platter to evil Queen Herodias. I think we all have our thoughts of who God is, and more so, we have our thoughts of what God is supposed to do for us. Some of us maybe even first came to Jesus because we thought he was going to fix all our problems. Our minds are convinced, "God, if you loved me, you'd heal me. You'd give me a husband. You'd give me this job, this child." Or, "God, I did this for you. Now you should do that for me." And I think these are the very thoughts that cause us to stumble or fall away, or at least stop pursuing God with passion. But it all comes down to trust, that firm belief in the reliability, the truth, the ability, or the strength of someone. I need my trust in God to grow. I'll leave you with these well-known verses that help me live it out and grow my trust in 6 practical ways. Proverbs 3, 5 through 7. "Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and shun evil." On my website, I say a bit more about these verses, so I encourage you to go there and check it out. And I encourage you to join me and other friends to choose intentionally to ask God to help you live out one of the 6 practical ways this week that we may grow in our trust of our mighty God together. Thanks so much, friends, for watching.